Welcome back. First of all, let me thank everybody who subscribes to me and who gives me likes. I'm trying to get as many likes as I can, and I love all your subscribers. So I want to say thank y'all, first of all, with all of that. Let's go ahead and get into what I'm doing this week. This weekend, I'm doing the Glasgow Stage 2 Reverse Cribbage. And this one, I'm going to do this as the ongoing thing for the rest of the year where I try to do one in Cat D and one in Cat C. And I'm going to try to post them together. They're not too long. I try to keep my videos on about 20 minutes. This one's going to be roughly around 30 minutes long. But I do have a Cat C and a Cat D. I do the Cat D first because that's what I am actually a category for is Cat D. I do Cat D first. First of all, it's a race I'm trying to win. Plus, it's a recon race for the Cat C race. Because most of the time when I do the Cat D, it's the first time me running that route. If I hadn't run it like the previous year. But you know, I've only been racing now since July. So with that, I want to also thank my subscribers again, and I want to ask y'all to give me as many likes as I do views. I'm trying to get my likes up and leave comments if you have any suggestions, and I will go in depth on my strategy for this race. This race was a very fun race. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did a lot of strategizing with the first one, so I don't want to hold this up so long. So let's get into this race. We're at 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Now, when I take off in these races, now I don't get in the front of the race. I don't try to lead the race out, and I don't try to take off and leave everyone. I want to ride in the pack. I've learned that from riding the sea. So for the most part in this race, I was just trying to ride in the pack. It wasn't trying to leave anyone or get way out in anything. It was about learning this route and trying to win. And what I was trying to stay with is that if you follow through with what you're doing, if as a heavier guy, the whole thing is to figure out where all the hills at. Now, Glasgow is one of my fastest races. I've done these races so many times. Y'all don't see me do these things a lot. So when we come under here, it's only giving us two options. It's giving us arrow and a feather. So what I would like to have is there's two hills on here. There's two sets of hills on this thing. And for me, I was thinking, okay, if I can get the feather on this first hill, when you go around this roundabout right here, there's the first hill. My goal is to keep my speed up here. I'm trying to get it up about 50 kilometers an hour so that when I reach the top of this hill, I'll still be at roughly 25. I'm trying to get it up to about 30 kilometers coming up. You see, I come down to 18 on that. This is my first try. So I'm figuring out, so if it's that far down, how far can I get to this next hill? At the bottom of this next hill, this is where I'm starting to study at. And I come around the corner, and this is at the bottom of the next hill. I get up to 47, so where am I at the top of the hill? Because I've already used the feather on that first hill. Now I'm looking for some, and I get an arrow, and this, okay, I was cool. I managed to get the arrow on the top of the hill. You notice I shoot up to like 56, 50, I don't know, 53, 54, and I was happy with that. And what it does, I looked up and I noticed that it gives me a slight lead. Now I wasn't trying to leave everybody on this. It gave me another feather, I think, on this one. And I hit the feather, and I just wanted to see how long it would take for them to catch up to me. Now, one of my reigning thoughts in my head is, what if they gave me arrows the whole race? How would this race really have turned out? I'm gonna give you the idea. I did the tiny races yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday. I did the tiny races yesterday, and it gave 4 arrows on the reverse cribbage. And y'all will be really amazed at what I could do with those arrows, especially with, as you see me doing these races, I know the course. It was amazing. So we come back around this roundabout, and I'm ahead, and the only reason I'm ahead is nobody could catch me coming down that hill. So now what I'm doing is strategizing for my Cat C race. Okay, I hit this one at the bottom at 47 miles an hour. When I get to the top, I'm still coming up in the 19 kilometers. So I was like, okay, I got to come up with a better strategy for that, because that's not going to work in Cat C. So I'm riding, and this whole rest of this race is all recon. I'm just going to tell you that up front, because I didn't win this one. So what I'm doing now is working on my strategy for the next one, because nobody can catch up to me once I go downhill. But this is a different story when it comes to Cat C. Each time I come to the top of that hill, I'm coming down to about 20, 28 kilometers an hour, and I want to crest that top of the hill at about 30 kilometers, 32 kilometers, so that when I start coming down that last hill, I can hit 58 kilometers, which is super tuck speed. You can't super tuck, I don't think, on this race, but you can hit that speed. And I don't think anybody, by the time I come down, and if I just keep a constant power in on 6 laps, I was thinking to myself that maybe I could tire enough C's out where they have to actually push while I'm resting coming down that hill. Because if you notice, you watch my pedals on the sauce, my pedals come down. Even though my speed is going up, once I get it going, I don't pedal no more, giving myself time to rest. Now, I do notice one thing about this that I don't know if anybody else will notice, that we come back around the roundabout. We on the 3rd set of this race, and I get it up to 44. So now watch how far I come down by the top of this hill. I'm back in the teens again. I cannot do that. I must stop at least 24, 25 kilometers coming and cresting at the top of the hill, because what happens is I'm still kind of pushing on this back end. So now we come down to the bottom of the last hill. I crested, I topped out at 47, so where do I crest at? And you see I'm cresting at 24, and so now I push down the hill, and where do I crest at? Here. And if you notice, at the bottom of that hill, it's only at 53 kilometers. That's not good enough to win in Cat C. And I know that. So now, the one thing I have to remember is it's not just going to be me, because if you look at my WKG up there in the corner, the 20 and the 5 minute, it's at 2.3 and 2.4. And that's because I'm by myself. I have no help with the wind. I'm constantly pushing by myself. Look at my numbers, constantly in the 400s, because that's where I normally roll at now. And so now I'm just by myself. I'm pushing by myself. Yes, I have a hell of a lead, but it's not doing anything for me. So now I'm just trying to strategize, what numbers do I have to hit to make myself compatible and see. And that's what I was thinking about the whole time while riding this race. So we come back around to this next roundabout, and I look at it and I go, okay, cool. What we're gonna do is see if I can get it up a little high. Well, I only got it up to 48. And so as we come up around this hill, I'm hitting the hill at 45. And by the time I'm at the top of the hill, I finally got it so they just crested at 19. So now I go, okay, cool. We got 2 more of these that I got to do like this. And I want to see if I can get it up a little higher. So we come down the bottom, and because I only crested at 19, I got it up to 47. And can I crest the top of this thing without it getting under 30 is my goal. But I got it down to 25. 25 kilometers at the top of the hill, so it allows me not to push as hard to get it over 50. At the bottom, I hit 53. So it's the little things like that that help you out a lot on these races. And so that was helping me out a lot. But in my head, I was like, okay, it's good enough for D. Don't get me wrong. This is good enough, the strategy to constantly win D. My goal is to get better enough so that I can constantly and consistently have a podium reach in C. That's where I want to be. I want to reach the podium consistently in C. Now, there are races where I'm in D where there's more people in there. Now, I ran this race at 4 o'clock, 4:10 Thursday morning, because I wake up early in the morning. And I did run the Cat C race at 5:10 Friday morning. So you get the difference. I run early in the morning. If somebody reach out to me, leave it in the comments, you gotta understand that we on the roundabout, and this is the 5th one. And as we come around this roundabout, you can see that I'm up to 40. I got it up to 47. So now I'm powering in, trying to get up the top of the hill, but I'm not trying to wear myself out. I know I have one more lap, and I'm thinking about getting it there. I stopped it at 21. You remember, it's been going down in the teens. I got it at 21 when I stopped at the top of that hill. So as we come around up to the bottom of this hill, I'm thinking, okay, I got it at 21. How far can I get up? And if you notice, I didn't push hard enough, and I stopped at 45. So when I get to the top of this hill, it comes down to 21. And so now I come to the bottom of the hill. I'm looking at the bottom of the hill, and I'm going, okay, cool. I only got it up to like 54, 53, 54. So this is the last hill, and I'm going, okay, we're gonna set this up. I gotta see what I can do. And the one thing I gotta let you know, I don't like being this far out sometimes, especially with these, because even though it seems like I'm just trying, no, it's harder to do it this way because I don't have nobody to help push me and maintain the speed. It's hard to judge it when you're by yourself. So that's the issue I have with this. So I'm coming back around, and because I'm trying to work out what I need to do in Cat C, it's kind of hard to judge it because I have nobody to judge with me. But the good thing about this, and this is gonna be the honest truth, is it gives me a chance to recon the ride. So now at least the route is in my head. I know where everything at. I kind of know how everything go. I know from that first hill to the second hill, there's a 15-second difference. So as we come around here, I'm speeding into it. I'm just trying to get it to go a little faster. I get it up to 46, and I hit the bottom of the hill. And as I get to the top of the hill, I hit it, and I pop it just at 22. So I kept it from going too low right there, you see? And now that allows me to get more speed in this last hill. So as we come through this last hill, I'm coming down at the bottom of it, and I crest out at 47. So what I want to do is get to the top of this hill. It's still in the 30s or top high 20s. I come around at 20, I drop down, and as I come down to the bottom of this hill, we're coming to the bottom of this hill, and we get to the end of this race. Now, that you know, I only got up to 54, so I'm letting you know that I did win this one. So, and you can look on the graph, you can see that I had a significant lead, but it was all recon for cats, the category C race, which is next. So you can see what I did. In fact, I didn't realize this, but I did this race fast enough so that I ended up coming around here on the finish of it. And I knew if I hit a feather here, it'll carry me all the way through the finish line, which is about 30 pounds off my frame. So I knew that I could have that to help out with me. But if you see here at the end, I turned to yellow. I got a green jersey. So I'm back, y'all. And I want to just talk to you about this. And we figure to go into this next one. And this is the Cat C. Now, with this Cat C race, I really had to strategize because, you know, it's Cat C riders. So I'm still technically a D. But because of the power that I have in the flats and my raw power, I'm really a C. And I'm just being honest with you, that's what I think I am. I'm really a C who's, because I can't hit the WKG, I fall in that category where some of super heavy riders, that's what I'm gonna have to call it, super heavies, anybody 250, 300 plus, we're super heavy riders. And if we got any kind of condition, we're kind of in a weird position. I see Ryan Condon, which I want everybody to ride his race. I'm gonna put it in the front of this thing, but Ryan Condon is one of the guys that I follow, and he's learned the condition, which I have learned last year when I started racing. It's all about the condition and raw power, not just the raw power. So with all that being said, let's get into this race. I don't like these videos being too long. So we're at 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Now, when we take off on this race, there's a lot of strategizing going on in this race for me. And I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I'm really, really strategizing in this race. So we come in, and you know, you don't start off on the race. Normally you would start off on the opposite side and you would flow into the stretch at the end. But because the way we come in on the reverse, we come in coming into that straightaway flat. So I'm out front because it's a negative. So I kind of just flow out front. If you notice, it's not hard for me because of my weight, I flow out in front. So now you're gonna notice a couple of things on these sets. I call them sets of hills. It's 2 sets each time we go around. There's 6 laps. And I call it, you know when the set is starting to kick in, because you see that church in the middle, what I call the roundabout. And that's that round. Once we hit that roundabout in the middle, that's where everything really starts up. So right here, we coming around, we coming, and what I'm doing now, if you notice, I sit in the pack. I'm not trying to leave the pack. You see, I'm sitting just settled in the pack. And you look at my draft numbers, I try to keep those in the hundreds, because that lets you know how much power I would actually be burning if I was out front. So that's a good thing about it, which you can see the difference between a D race for me and a C race for me. C race, I have to race in the pack. C race and D's are weird. They're real races for me because C races are easier, but harder than these. And that's a weird way of looking at it. So here we come around the roundabout. And on this first one at the bottom, I crested out at 47 kilometers an hour. So when I get to the top, and you remember the last one, I kept going into the teens. But when I get to the top of this one, you see people flash past when this is the first set. When I get to the top, I'm at 25 kilometers. See? If I hit it just right at the bottom, and especially riding with Cat C guys forced me to keep going, and my heart rate is not crazy if you look over there, but what that allows me to do is hit the bottom of this next one, which is coming up here. When we make this turn, we're going to the bottom of the next hill. Look at my numbers when I hit the bottom of this hill. It crests at 50 kilometers an hour. So that allows me to get to the top of the hill at a greater rate. So now I'm trying to get to the top of the hill, and we all working. I get top is 31 kilometers an hour that I hit the top of the hill, with 30 kilometers an hour. So as we come down to the bottom, where am I at the bottom? Because I don't have to do as much work, once I power in, I'm at 56 kilometers coming out at the bottom of that hill. And you see, if you look at my pedals, I'm only at 60 some pedals, 50 some, but I'm passing everybody. So now what I do is I look at the thing, and we at 3-3, and they're right behind me, we riding together, and I know it's okay, cool, we're gonna ride with this. So we get around to come around this thing again, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, how far, you look at my numbers, I'm going, how long would it take for them to catch up to me? And I'm noticing how long it takes for them to catch up, because you gotta understand, when I passed them, they had to keep pedaling down the hill. I forced them to keep pedaling down the hill, because you don't want me to get too far off. Even at the beginning of this race, see, at the beginning of this race, you saw in that first hill, they left me. Somebody kept, I think they call them matches when you got the fire socks, and they take off. And you see, they kept taking off at the beginning of that downhill. I mean, when we go around the roundabout, we go up the hill. They take off. So we're on this second set. And as we come around on this second set, this is a whole different thing. We're coming around. And as you see, when we get to the bottom, when we get around the roundabout, which is the church, and I call it the roundabout, but it's the church, to give you an idea where we're at. At the church is where I start kind of judging when I need to put speed in. So as we get around that church, I speed up, and I get it up to 52 kilometers right there. And when I hit the bottom of that, right at about 45, 46. And so when I get to the top, if you notice, it comes down, but when I get to the top, it only comes down to 24. So now I want to see how high can I get to the bottom of the next one. So we go down through here. We got these two little Humpty Humps, they're rolling hills right here. And then we're gonna make that left, we're gonna make a left turn where we headed to the bottom of the hill. Now you understand my strategy on this one. I want to get up to 50 kilometers right here. And that's what I was trying to get, and I actually hit it. So that allows me to not lose as much speed. You remember when I was in the Cat D races, I come down to the 20s. I stop here at 31. So now I go over here, and I got right here, I have an arrow helmet, which was perfect. I got it right after I come under the hill. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. Once I get to the bottom, I hit 56 kilometers. And so I wait till it hit double zeros. If you look at my soul sauce, you can see at the tumble where it says -3. And when it hits 0, I hit the feather right there. And I want to see how long it's gonna take for them to catch up to me. If you know it's 65, and they at 65. And you're gonna see me at 6.6, and then they hit 0.6. That means I'm only about half a second ahead of them. I'm not that far ahead. So what I do now is just calm down, look at the speed of what we're doing, and I let them catch up to me because I need them to help pull me back around to the roundabout again. So now I'm coming around to this third set on this roundabout, and I'm starting to lock these numbers in of where I need to go. Now I'm gonna tell you something, I keep saying I kept wondering if I had 4 arrows the whole race and I knew that's all I was getting, how would I run this race? Well, I'm gonna let you know that the first race of the tiny races on Saturday was this reverse crash 2 laps with 4 arrow helmets. So as we come around this first one, I'm riding with them, and the reason I do that is, like I say, if you look at my widest put out, I don't have to put out much, and I get the rest kind, look at my pedals. I'm only doing 67 pedals. I'm not really pushing hard because I'm letting them drag me along. So we back at this roundabout again. This is the third set, and you can see what I hit the bottom of this hill at. If I get to the bottom of the hill, I push out that, I'm trying to get it up, I hit it at 47. And when I come to the top of this hill, when I crest this hill, I'm gonna crest this hill around 25 kilometers. And if you notice, right there, I crested 20, I pole it. So that allows me to come to the bottom of this next left. When I make that left, and we do these 2 rolling hills, you're gonna have to make this left here. And I'm strategizing on this because my whole goal is to not overburn myself, but also stay competitive. So we come right here, I hit the bottom of this hill and I get it up to 50 kilometers, right there, flash just for a second, which allows me to crest at the top of this hill, which I have a feather at this time. I don't have anything, but I'm hoping for another one, and I crest at the top here at 31. But it gives me a feather, something I did not want. So what I decided to do was hit the feather and hit double zeros. And you know at the bottom of the hill, I hit 54. So we get ready to come around, I hit double zeros, I hit the feather. So I wait for it to get the double zeros and I hit the feather, and I want to see how it works out right there and how much speed can I hold on to. So when I hit the feather, I hold on my speed. Now, I'm not working this hard. I'm at 70 pedals a minute, but everybody else is really trying to run to keep up. You can notice that behind me. They're running to keep up. Because my weight, I'm letting that inertia push me around. And I'm just trying to add a little bit to it so that it stays high. And that's what I'm doing here. So we come around on this fourth set when we come up under the flag. And I notice that if I hit the feather right there at them, just before, as I see the green, the orange tints, it'll give me enough lightness to get to the finish line. So, and if you notice, everybody's kind of got me in front. Now I have to actively really focus on slowing down, but not too much that they get back in front of me. So I allow everybody to get back in front of me. You notice I'm in the line. I'm slowly regressing right back into the pack. I'm not trying to get in front of everybody. This whole goal was about just riding with them. So as we ride, I'm looking at where everybody at and how we're riding on this race. So we're coming into 4-7, coming around this roundabout now. And when we come around this roundabout, my goal is to hit the bottom of the hill. And I get it up to right at about 50 kilometers at the bottom of this hill. You see that? So when I get to the top of the hill, okay, we're looking at it, I'm thinking about, okay, where do I need to go? It only comes down to 26 kilometers. You see that? And it goes back up, so it allows me to come down to the next one. But because I'm riding a pack and I'm trying to ride with them, I don't know if I lost focus or what happened right here. I was trying to stay focused, and I don't know if something caught my attention in the house or whatever. But when I come around on this hill, it should have been easier to hit 50, but I only get up to 47, which means when I crest at the top, watch where I crest at, because I lost focus, I got to stay focused in this, I come down to 28 kilometers at the top of the hill, which only allows me to get up to, I think at the bottom of this hill, I end up getting up to like 56, 57 kilometers at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, 56 kilometers, which is good. But then it only gave me an arrow again. And I was like, okay, no, it gave me a feather. And I hit the feather. I said, well, you know what? When I see the orange tints, I'm gonna see how far the feather comes. But now I'm starting to rethink my strategy on this. Because you have to remember, I was doing good with the strategy I had, but you don't know what you get each time you go around. So that was the cause of this. Okay, we got to rethink my strategy now. So what I started thinking to myself is, okay, let's say the last hill they give me the wrong thing. Let's say the last hill on this last one, when I come around, it gives me an arrow. I don't need an arrow on that last hill, on that first hill in the last set. I really do need a feather, but if they give me an arrow, I have to hold on to that arrow and hope that when I get to the bottom of that the second hill of that lap, that I hit the arrow on that crest and see if I can get my speed up to 60 kilometers or 58 kilometers coming out at the bottom of that hill and try to win the race from there. So we on the fifth set, and I come around, like I say, I have an arrow helmet. So that means that I'm not gonna have no help getting at the top of this hill. So now I'm trying to really overburn myself and zoot myself, because I'm nervous about this changing the strategy. But so I try to just kind of maintain with the group, but I know nobody's really leaving because we on the fifth lap, and I know they kind of tired too. So I get it up to 48, and I go around this hill, I get up the hill. Now, you remember the first time we did this, everybody was coming around on the first 3 laps, they were just literally lapping. They were putting real distance in between. You notice it takes to the top of that hill, but they passed me. So right at the top of the hill, I came out at 25 kilometers on that one. So at the bottom of this next one, because I came down so much, I was like, okay, cool, I'm just riding with them, I'm not trying to leave them. Plus, I didn't have a feather. So when I come down the bottom with this one, I only get it up to 47. So now I'm like, okay, the top, I'm a crest. It's not gonna be a good crest at the top, because I really want to crest in the 30s, but I only crest at 26 kilometers right here. But I get another feather, and I said, well, I'm just gonna ride this feather out. Now, when I do come down, I do see it gets me up right at about 58 kilometers right here. And I ride that out, and now I'm coasting on the hill. And I look up and I go, okay, let's see what happens. How fast am I getting ahead? You see, I go 54. It's 15:54, 15:55. I'm just about a second and a half ahead of them. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's the last lap. Let's see what they give me on this come around under the finish line, coming around for the last one. And I'm hoping, okay, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have room to breathe. I have room, and there's only a 15-second gap between both hills. I'm looking at this and I go, okay, cool. I gotta hit the first set since I don't know what they'll give me. Right here is making my choice for me right here. Whatever they give me, it's a feather. I'm okay with the arrow. It gives me an arrow. It gives me an arrow helmet. So what do that mean? That means that at the bottom of that hill, I have to hit that hill greater than 50 kilometers. So that I can stay with them at the top of the hill, that I don't lose so much. I can't come under, I'm trying not to get under 25 kilometers at the crest of this hill. That was my goal right here. Don't get under 25 kilometers at the crest of this hill. So as we come around here, we go around the roundabout, and I'm coming around this roundabout, and I'm into it. I'm pushing, you know, if you notice again, I'm pushing, because I cannot come up on it, because I don't have a feather. I almost hit 52 kilometers. I come in at 51, and I get to the top of this thing, and I'm right there. You notice nobody's passed me yet. Right at the end, they passed me 26 kilometers. I hit it at 26, so this allows me to come into this next hill really focused. Now we're at the end. I'm not worried now. I'm at 62 heartbeat. I got room to sprint. I'm slowing it down just a little bit for y'all for here on this race. We're at the end of this race. This is where everything matters. So right now, what I want to do now is put as much power into coming down this hill so I can get up to over 50 kilometers that make getting to the top of the hills a lot easier. So I got an arrow, remember that now. So I get above, I hit almost 52 kilometers coming around that hill at the bottom. So it allows me to get up to the top. And I know right as I make that turn, I have an arrow helmet. I'm gonna hit the arrow right there. I'm not gonna save it, because what I wanna do is see if I can get how high I can get coming down the hill. At the top, I stop at 32 kilometers, I hit the arrow right here, and we're going into over this hill. And I'm pushing. And if you look at me, I'm really starting to push, because I'm free going this here, and I got the arrow going, and I need to put distance in. This is the end of the race. This is what drummer told me to do. I hit 61 right there. 61 kilometers coming down that hill. And I had the arrow on, and I have a feather. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking at it. You see I'm at 58 kilometers, everybody at 52. Now look at me, I'm at 18.2, they're at 18.2. Right now I hit click 18.3, I'm still at 56. They've been pushing the whole race to stay with me on these downhills. So now we're even, I'm only about a second ahead of them. So you see 18.4, 18.4, but look at my speed. I'm still at 51, and I know, okay, once it hits the double zeros, I'm gonna hit that feather. And that should allow me to maintain this speed, because it knocks off about 20 pounds. I hit the feather right here. Now I got the feather going. And so now it allows me to keep most of that inertia coming off that hill. I've dropped about 30-some pounds of my frame, and whatever kilometers, whatever it is, it drops like 10%. So whatever that 10% is, it dropped me way down. So I drops that off of me, and all I'm doing now is watching where they're at, my speed and their speed. But if you notice, I'm a point ahead of them. And so now when we see this, it's only 2 turns left right here when you see these tents. And I'm looking at it, and I go, okay, I'm a point ahead of them. And I'm pushing that. I'm looking at their speed, and I'm looking at my speed. And I can see that with that turn, nobody's close enough to get me, because I just hit 91, and they hit 91, and I go all out. I want to say thank y'all for watching this race. This was an amazing race. I love the race, and you can see I got a green jersey on that strategy. Thank y'all. Have a great day. Have a great week. See you next week. And with that, ride on.